All right, ARRMA fans, get excited. We have the new Granite 4x4 3S BLX here in the workshop, and I am really excited to check it out with you. It's something you really need to see. I have been driving my version 2, basically bone stock, for a long time now. If you watched the review, you saw that I love that truck, still do. It has, put up with a lot of abuse, and I've broken some parts, but hopefully they've made those revisions here on this truck. We're going to go over everything in detail, of course. And let's just start off with the body on this thing. And it's got a very cool look. It's kind of got that big rock nose to it, the front grille, the headlights and everything, which I absolutely loved. If you saw the big rock review, love the way ARRMA is just detailing their bodies lately. And the graphics package on this is very cool. They got this graffiti thing going on here. It says bash and blast and tough, kind of just graffiti and torn into the body. So it's very cool. They've got this red and white version. There's a green version as well. I am really happy that I got this one. I love the way it looks. But overall, they just keep knocking it out of the park with the styling of their bodies. It does have the tethers on there for the body clips, and that's just going to look cool when you're doing jumps and backflips and stuff like that. All right, now on to the truck. Again, this is the version 3. There's a version 1, version 2, and version 3 has a number of changes to it. And let's just start off in the front with the front bumper. So they've got a new, basically, front bumper, but not the mount behind it. And that was actually an issue I had with my version 2, which is behind me. It's still running with a broken bumper on it. I've been running it with a broken bumper mount for a long time. But this new one, it's just got a wider fascia to it, more plastic in the front, which it's got a cool look to it, and hopefully it holds up. I did notice that the mount behind it is a bit softer, so it should take the impacts. Also has a new rear bumper, basically just for looks, and it'll probably take some hits. And then I believe a revised wheelie bar. I haven't been running the wheelie bar on my V2 because I destroyed it basically the first run and never put it back on. So hopefully this one holds up, because when I ran the V2 in cold weather, I did break the wheels off of it, both wheels off of it. So that's new on this truck. Let's go out to the wheels, actually, because it's the Fortress tires that we've seen before. It's the cool black spoke rims. But they went to vented tires versus vented rims. And the reason why you want to go with that, in my opinion, is the vented tire tends to let dirt out of it. And a vented wheel tends to get water and dirt into it and not let it out. So I do like the vented tire that they're doing now. Probably another step in the assembly line for them, but it benefits us in the long run of not getting stuff trapped inside the tires. All right, now let's move on to the inside of the truck. Basically the same arms and the same caster blocks, the same steering knuckles, all heavy duty. I did have a problem with my V2 caster blocks. I've broken a couple of them, but hopefully it doesn't happen with this truck. Maybe they changed plastics. I don't know. If they didn't, I would have liked to have seen a revision there, but we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna bash it just like I bashed the V2. We're gonna go hard on this truck. But they did go ahead and revise the chassis on this, kind of inboard near the suspension. They do have the metal hinge pin plates, the aluminum ones front and rear, but they did go and beef up around the arm area. There's some extra plastic there that I noticed in the front, and then in the rear there's some extra webbing back there as well. So they went and changed up the chassis a bit just to improve durability. So I like that they went and did that. The adjustable turnbuckles, we saw that on the previous truck. Moving a little farther back, they did go and revise the steering on this, so it doesn't allow rocks and debris supposedly to catch up in there and halt your steering, which I believe I did have a problem with that on one of mine, so I understand why they went and revised that. So that's cool to see. The differentials, let's go on to the drivetrain. I'm skipping around a little bit, but let's go on to the drivetrain. They have the 4S version drivetrain in here, so a heavier duty differential with metal gears inside. I've never had a 4S version ARRMA truck before, so I'm guessing that is pretty cool that they have a 4S drivetrain in a 3S truck. The drive shaft in the center is removable. It's easily taken out by pushing forward on it, and that allows you to access the motor assembly, the module back here, which they did go ahead and revise that as well. There's a little tab that you pull up on. Once you remove the bottom screw, you pull up on the tab and you're able to pull this module out as one assembly which is easier for maintenance and pinion gear changes and such. So really nice that they just made it easier to work on. This truck is very, very easy to work on. That's one thing I like that ARRMA does, is they really focus on making this an overall great experience for you, whether you're driving it or if you have to wrench on it. So, you know, you could take the differentials out with just 4 screws if you have to do some maintenance to that. You could take the module out back here in case you want to make a pinion gear change, or you want to adjust your slipper clutch or whatever. The module for the electronics comes out very easily. So this is a very easy truck to work on, just like the other platforms that are based on this chassis. They're all easy to work on. And there's some really cool details throughout. I mean, like the metal motor plate, the aluminum motor plate has etching on it. Just little logos put here and there. We've got the honeycomb style of bracing inside of the chassis. Just really cool stuff. Little steps on the sides of the mud guards here, really tall mud guards to help keep debris out of the chassis. But I mean, they just keep amazing us with some really cool little innovative things that really set this truck apart from other stuff that is out there. All right, let me see, since I've been jumping all over the place, I'll just talk about the electronics and battery mount now. So the battery tray here can accept a number of different packs, or 2S packs, or 3S packs. We've got some Velcro straps on there, really easy to access your battery. And then over here is the BLX 100 speed controller, 100 amp speed controller, which it's got a heatsink on there. It is a programmable speed controller. I did notice that they went and add some additional caps on the wiring, so that will help with the power draw. And then on the end, they have a EC5 connector, which is your nice heavy duty connector. And then right in front of it is the new 615 servo that they're using in this, which is 101 ounce inches of torque. So remember the days when we were like suffering with 40 ounce inch torque servos? It's nice that they give you a really high torque servo here now with metal gears. Then right behind it is a new motor in here. We've got a Spectrum motor now. It's a 3200 kV motor, and affixed to the top of it is a heatsink and a cooling fan. So we've got a cooling fan on the speed controller, a cooling fan on the motor here. And that's just very cool overall that they give you that stuff. And I noticed that they nicely fitted everything with the harness to power it, and they use some heat shrink tubing to really neaten things up. Again, just little details that really make getting this truck worthwhile. You know, as a basher, you know, you just want to go out and have some fun with it, and you don't have to worry about little things happening because they've taken care of so much on this truck. All right, behind the motor here is obviously where the gear train is, your pinion and spur. They went to the D5 safe setup. I think I got that right, where you go and clip the pinion on. There's a little E-clip in there to help hold it in place in case something happens. And then they went and revised the slipper clutch as well. It looks like they have like a fiberglass slipper pad plate in there now. And I did notice that on my V2, there is some slip there, so maybe that will help smooth things out and distribute the power properly without it kind of slipping all the time. So welcome revision there. And let's see what else we have. Let's go back to the suspension because I missed the shocks. So the shocks pretty much look the same from the outside. They're easy to disassemble. You know, if you ever have to do maintenance, you need to take it apart. You actually slide the shock shaft up, and the bottom perch helps you unscrew it. But they did go ahead and revise the O-rings in here. So it's got new silicone O-rings, and it does feel very smooth. So I do like that as well. Let me see, did I miss anything? We've got a new radio system. I should probably get onto that. So it's the SLT3 from Spectrum. And basically what they did here is they took the old Tactic protocol, the Tactic radio system that we had seen on previous ARRMA models from previous owners of ARRMA, and they buttoned it up into a Spectrum style of casing and everything. And this is actually a very comfortable little ready-to-run radio system. Got a nice foam wheel on here. I like the trigger action on it, and it actually has a dual AB switch right at your thumb if you ever needed to expand your capabilities of the radio system. But simple knobs for throttle trim and steering trim and your steering rate. So this is a very good radio system, actually. If you don't know about the Tactic radio systems with the SLT protocol, it was a very good system. There was a lot of guys that would actually buy those radios for use in their boats and stuff like that because the response was really good and the range was really good. So I'm excited to use it here. And if you do have a Tactic receiver already, you know, you can go and actually bind this radio to it. So that's cool that they did that. And with that said, let me move on to what you get in the kit. So in the box, you get your normal little baggie of stuff that you get in other ARRMA kits, which has your instruction manual. It's got the slipper clutch tool in there, some Allen wrenches, and some shock preload collar clips. And I think that's it. I mean, we've got heavy duty shock towers on here. The body mounts, I never had a problem with them before, so those look pretty stout. And I think that really just leaves us to go drive this thing. So what are we waiting for? Let's go head out, have some fun, and rip up some dirt. I'm at one of my usual test locations. It's almost 100 degrees out here, and I just finished clearing some rocks out in the area that I'm going to drive the ARRMA Granite 4x4. So now all that's left is to rip on the throttle. I can't wait to drive this thing. It's ARRMA Granite 4x4 bashing time. I've got a 3S pack in here. Let's see what this thing could do. Yeah, wheelies right off the start. I've actually been driving this thing a little bit already with a 2S pack, and it actually does wheelies on 2S as well. It is a pretty wild truck. It's been taking some hard hits, but it is a great truck. I love this truck. I loved it in V2. Now this V3 is pretty awesome as well. Oh, look at that. Just kind of pulled the throttle, got out of that one. Got a little bit of a rock or something in one of the gears, but just gonna let that thing ride. We're just here to see what this thing could do. Yeah, a lot of power on tap. I actually like it. Hold on, let's just do a little test here. There's a little bit of lag at the bottom. That's what I wanted to show you guys. I noticed that on 2S. A little bit of a lag. Really dusty out here today. This is crazy, all this dust. But this thing is killer. All right, let's whip this thing around, a little full throttle, little bump here. Let's see, get some air. Oh. There we go. I knew I could flip it over. Not good for the truck, but you know what? I'm testing it.
We're gonna see what, let's see if we can break anything on this thing. I broke the last one, I will say that, but I put it through a lot in order to break it, and it was cold out. I mean, today is, like I said, it's almost like 100 degrees here. Yeah, it can be smooth. If you guys just want to go smooth on this truck, it will be a lot more forgiving. It handles so much better, but you know, you can go wild with it. Seems to be taking it. Let's just go smooth. Get this jump. Oh, that's a wheelie bar test. Let's just check the wheelie bar. Look, it's still there. I broke it on V2. V3 seems to be handling it. All right, let's go over here because there's a little bit of a jump here, like kind of a double. Yeah, nice and smooth. So what I noticed with this and jumping it is as soon as you hit that lip of the jump, just let off the throttle. It should sail pretty well. See? Just like that. I just backed off on the throttle once it hit that face, and it just sails. Oh, I had to add a little bit of throttle, pull the nose up there. Let's do it again. Oh, I was not expecting that. I hit a bump there. Look, back of the body is trashed. Oh man. Look at the back of the body. It's dented in. That's a shame. I love this body. We'll just pop this thing back out. There we go. Push that down. Look at that. Almost like new. All right. Let's take this thing over again. Let's give you another jump with this. Roll into it. Had to pull on the throttle just a little bit to grab the nose up, but was able to get out of that. All right, let's. That was a little hairy there, but I got through that. All right, let's go. There we go. Grabbed a lot of throttle right before the face, and brought that nose up. Had to hit a little bit of brake. There, that was a nice smooth floating jump. I love that. It looks so cool. All right, let's go for it. Oh! I pulled the throttle just to get it out of that flip, and it landed on all fours. That was cool. Yeah, another floating jump. All right, I'm gonna walk over to the berm. Gonna let some of this dust clear out. Show you how it goes through the berm. It looks really cool. All right, this berm here, just so rad to rip the truck around. Look at that. That thing has some power under the hood. Come on, baby. Oh, look, it just straightens itself out. It's got so much power on tap. The wheels grow a little bit. Oh, that rock was not there before. It is there now. I cleared all these rocks out and they keep coming back. Looks like we're still good. This thing's a boost. Yeah, rip through this. Just unearthed another rock over there. It's pretty easy to control. Look at that, just rips wheelies. Love that. Look at that thing. Just a wheelie machine. All right, let's come over here. This straightaway over here should be kind of fun. I'll rip through the berm one more time. Look at that, 2 wheels. Yeah! I love this truck. I don't know, my V2, I think it's gonna get shelved. I think my kids will inherit it. I'm gonna drive this bad boy. There's a bump here, let's hit it. Yeah! Woo! So cool. Plenty of power on 3S. If you're scared of 3S, this thing is very cool on 2S as well. You know, as I said, I was driving it before on just 2S, and it's got a lot of rip there too. Back and forth. Oh, I'm not taking it easy on this thing. That body's kind of mangled in the back right now. I think that's going to be my only gripe for this truck. Maybe have some sort of bed protector on it. Maybe ARRMA could work on a bed protector or a bar system in back to kind of protect that. But I mean, you know, this thing, uh-oh, we lost the wheel. We did not lose a wheel. We ejected a axle shaft from the truck, and I don't have my tools on me because I moved and I took all of my tools out of my truck, and this might be it for today, guys. So let's head back to the workshop and we could talk about the performance. I have plenty of wheel time on this truck to tell you all about it.
I love it. Another great day of bashing an ARRMA vehicle, and the Granite 4x4 3S BLX is an absolute beast out there. This truck gave me a lot of action, and it took a lot of abuse. Now, this thing, it's pretty fast right out of the box. On 2S, it'll pull some wheelies, and then on 3S, it will just carry those wheelies. It's a lot of fun. Jumping, it jumps really, really well. You have to kind of watch yourself. If you stab the brake too much, it will nose down. The brakes are pretty powerful, so you just got to be really chill with that. But as far as jumping, basically just hit the jump, kind of let off the throttle, and this thing will sail. You know, it does kind of tip a little bit here and there. It'll catch some traction with the knobby tires on there, and you know, you will flip it over on the roof. It's not one of those amazing trucks that will always land on the wheels, but it does take the hits and rolls when you do land wrong. You know, just the back of the body is all beat up on this thing from all the abuse I put through it. There is a durability issue. I don't think it was from jumping that I gotta kind of make you guys aware of. That will be towards the end. But let me talk about the steering. The steering on this, it's got some powerful steering. I had it here on the table, you know, just checking it out before I went out. And usually when you have a ready-to-run vehicle on a table with like a pit mat like this, it's not a lot of steering. Like you can see the steering kind of struggling, but with the servo in here, it was able to move without issue. So, you know, out there in the field, of course, steering was on point in my opinion. It was perfect for what you need in a ready-to-run truck. Would you want more? Yeah, maybe when you grow into it, but right out of the box, you know, the servo is pretty good. I did like that. Let's see, suspension soaked up the bumps and jumps pretty well. Took some hard hits from some of the rocks that were out there. I did my best to clean those up. But the front end is all beat up, and it took a lot of big hits. I really enjoyed driving it in both 2S and 3S. So it's a great truck. A lot of people love the Granite. It seems to really perform well for backyard bashing, for bashing in big dirt lots and stuff like that. And I like it. I like this truck. I do recommend this truck. The new radio system, pretty comfortable. I didn't see any issues driving it as far as fatigue or anything like that. So that works pretty well. I did break the wheelie bar. Let's talk about some durability issues. I didn't break the wheelie bar. The front bumper didn't break. I didn't break any hubs or seat carriers, which I did on the previous model, but that was in cold weather driving. So, you know, 90-degree day, 100-degree day where I was driving it, plastics were probably pretty soft, so they were nice and durable. The issue I did have that I got to talk to you guys about is, you can see I've got a wheel in my hand. The wheel fell off. And what it looks like is the screw backed out that holds the yoke to the spline axle shaft here. And I don't see any thread lock on there, and I'm guessing there should be some. If there isn't, and you encounter this problem, that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to pull that piece apart, put some thread lock on that screw, and put it back together. But that looks like an easy fix, you know, just retightening a screw down. So that's all I have to report, other than the mashed up body in the back of the truck. And you know, it's good, guys. It's a great machine. Oh, I did want to tell you about and I mentioned this during the performance, there is a little bottom end lag. It's basically just when you pull the throttle, it's just that, you know, half a second as you're ramping up. So you're really not much in that throttle range often, so I don't foresee it to be an issue. There's no other lag anywhere in the, you know, the power band of the truck. So, you know, at full throttle, mid-range throttle, all that stuff, you're good to go. But just that initial hit, there was a touch of lag there. So just want to make you guys aware of that. You know, so if you encounter that with your truck, kind of something normal with this vehicle, I guess. So, all right, guys. Hope you enjoyed this review. I enjoyed driving this truck. I think my kids are going to get my older version, and this is going to be a new backyard basher for me. It's going to be a great time with this truck. If you get it, I think you're going to enjoy it too. Definitely let me know what you think about the truck in the comments section below. While you're there, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so yet. Throw the video a like, and we'll see you back soon for some more RC Driver videos.